So in today's video, I'm going to show you the second method that I've been using for controlling slugs in my aquaponic system. I showed you last year where I was using my fingers. I was picking them out, and although this is actually that's a pretty effective way of doing it, in fact, it's probably more effective than this method. Let's just be perfectly honest with you, it's kind of gross. So yeah, I'd rather not do that one if I don't have to. So I set this trap a few days ago. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and I'm gonna pull the trap, show you how to make a new one, and then I'm gonna bury the new trap, and then we'll dump this trap out and take a look and see how many slugs I actually got in it. Okay, so let's just go ahead and pull this trap out of its hole for right now. I'm going to make a new hole. The reason I put this down low like this is I actually don't want the slugs, to crawl up over the top. I'd much rather have them just sort of be able to crawl straight into it if possible. Now, I call this a beer trap, but it's probably more closely related to rum, because I'm going to go ahead and use molasses and some yeast and some water from the system. So basically all I'm going to do is it doesn't need a whole lot. We're just going to put a little bit of molasses in there, because we need to feed the yeast. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of yeast in there. It doesn't take much. That's plenty. Now I need some water. Okay, so we got I got the yeast in there. Now I'm going to add the water. That should be enough. Set that aside. I'm gonna stir this together. Get it good and stirred up. Try not to get too much of it in the system, but it won't hurt nothing. It's just yeast, molasses. Tiny bit of molasses won't hurt too much. Better than beer. Can't use slug bait at all, of course. Not in an aquaponic system. Okay, that should be pretty good there. Now, all we got to do is let this sit overnight and see what happens. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and pour this trap out into just this so I can kind of strain it out. And then we'll see how many slugs I actually caught in about a 2-day period. Two slugs. I got 2 slugs. Now the first time, this is the second time I set this trap. And the first time I did the trap, I got about a dozen. So hopefully this is progress. Still seeing a little bit of damage, fresh damage on a few things here, but it is actually starting to slow down a little bit. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. I'm happy with that result. I'm gonna make a second trap. That's how I'm getting rid of slugs in my aquaponic system. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but you got to do what you got to do. Anyway, if you got something out of this video, like, share, and subscribe, and have a great day. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to clean up the sound a little bit for my videos. I'm using a program called Audacity. Let's just take a quick look at it. This is the version I'm using. This is Linux, but they do have Windows versions for this too. So, first off, let's take a listen to the sound. Come over here. pick a spot. Okay, so in today's video, I'm gonna show you the second method. That's the way that sounds. And then we got a little bit of background noise here. You can kind of see it showing up here. We're gonna clean that up. So what I do is you go to noise reduction, and you got to make a selection. That was my mistake. You go to noise reduction and say get noise profile. Now you go over here and you click here, so you select everything, and you go back to effects and you say repeat noise reduction. And the computer will clack away at it for a little bit. And then you can see that area is in here, so it reduced a lot of that background noise. It's that little bit of a hiss that you'll sometimes hear. Okay, so in today's video, we're gonna. And you don't want to do it too much, because if you do it too much, then it will start affecting the sound itself. But there, that sounds pretty good. I showed you. Anyway, guys, hope you got something out of that. I did. Like, share, and subscribe.